Good morning. Based on when first service ended today, I better read fast. Hi, New Life. My name is Anna Chon, married to Rob Chon and mom to Oscar and Theo Chon. I'm a part of Rob. I've been asked to share my testimony about experiencing God Bible study, though it would have been Michael Kim up here sharing instead of me if he were not coming back from the Yucatan A mission trip this morning. I hope that we all get to be blessed with his testimony one day. Before I start, I wanted to say thank you to my classmates, Michael, Rebecca, Crystal, Oriana, Inez, Karis, Paul, and Derek for going on this 12-week journey with me and for showing me different facets of God's love through their intimate sharing of how they have been experiencing God in their lives. And thank you, David Lim, for faithfully serving us as teacher and facilitator and encouraging us to live joyful and abundant lives experiencing God each and every day. I felt compelled to take this class because I really enjoyed Transforming Life Bible study class and have heard great things about this class as well. Our house church members have inspired and encouraged me as well, as they've been faithfully and obediently taking classes themselves. As I reflect on the lessons we learned from this class and the intentional study of what it means to experience God, to know and to do His will, I feel like the 7 spiritual realities that we learned throughout the course help to put a framework around the truths that have been revealed to me as I've walked together with my house churches over the past 15 years, and in particular, the last 10 years as a shepherd's wife. The lessons, the workbook exercises, and all of the class discussions brought me back to where I started when I believe God began the biggest spiritual transformation in my life, when Rob and I stepped up to be a shepherd couple, and when God first clearly revealed to me during our life coaching sessions that my deepest desire and craving was intimacy with Him. It all comes back to Jesus and my relationship with God. In the very first week of class, we were reminded that Jesus is the way. He is the point, the destination, not the tour guide. As it says in John 5:15, one of our memory verses for the class, I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. And I should not have been surprised to also see one of my life verses as one of the memory verses in this book as well, Matthew 22, verse 37 through 38. Jesus replied, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment." Because it is a simple but profound truth that if I put loving God first and all that that really entails in the faith that is required, the actions that I take, and the decisions that I make, everything else will fall into place. It doesn't necessarily get easier. On the contrary, sometimes it gets harder. But the class reinforced the reality that if I want to experience God, I need to adjust my life to God, not the other way around. And that often means making decisions that are contrary to the values of this world, as it says in Romans 12:2. But I also know that God is love, because I have been the beneficiary of His love and witnessed firsthand what His love looks like, particularly over these past 15 years. And that means I can trust that His will is always best. One insight that deeply convicted me and will be something that I adjust in my life as a result of this class is more deeply knowing that I need to wait on God to speak before moving forward with any significant decisions in my life. Oftentimes, I make plans or create, or so I think, options, and then ask God to give me guidance. I have definitely experienced impatience and unbelief and just started going through the open door that seems the best and ask God to stop me if that is not the right door. Yes, I still do this, even after experiencing the joy and revelation of how much greater and better God's plans are than mine. I still end up making more plans than God intends me to make, and I know that many times I have not been willing to let God interrupt or redirect my plans at any time and as He sees fit. This class taught me that I will never discover or learn truth, which is something only God can reveal, and reminded me that if I am not spending the time and effort to cultivate my relationship with God, not only will I not hear from God, I may lose what I think I already know from God, as it says in Luke 8:18. Therefore, consider carefully how you listen. Whoever has will be given more. Whoever does not have, even what they think they have, will be taken from them. There's one section in the workbook where we were asked to write down our spiritual markers, times of transition, decision, or direction in our life where we know God clearly guided us. As I went through this exercise, I was overcome with gratitude as I wrote about experience after experience where God demonstrated His faithfulness in my life, and it was clear that He had been guiding and leading me all that time. the accompanying statement in the book that says, when God gets ready for you to take a new step or direction in his activity, it will always be in sequence with what he has already been doing in your life. Came to life for me in that exercise. There were so many things that happened in my life since we stepped up to become a shepherd couple. Painful separations from family members, house church members, and village members, a life-changing supernatural encounter with God, going through the ups and downs of life with our house church members, transitions in our family life as our kids grew from toddlers to elementary schoolers and now middle schoolers, a major career shift, experiencing joy and obedience as well as the consequences of disobedience and everything in between. But one commonality in that inventory of my spiritual markers was that God does not reveal the whole picture. He gave me just enough to take the first step of faith. He was a lamp unto my feet. That lamp didn't cast a bright enough light to let me see the whole path, but I needed to step forward in faith and obedience anyway. And when I did, God showed me more of the work that he was already doing around me. This class deepened my understanding that if I don't hear from God, I need to seek him, not his instructions, more intently, and that it is the relationship I need to cultivate, not my tactical, strategic, or even deductive skills. And through the class, as I reflected on my own experiences of learning to be the type of wife, mother, shepherd's wife, church member, and marketplace participant that God wants me to be, he showed me that he has been building my character to match each assignment he has given me. By remaining rooted in Jesus and our church body through house church, I have experienced God as he worked through me, in my family, and my church body to accomplish his will. Thank you.